Clara can't sleep. She's thinking about the Nutcracker. She slips out of bed and tiptoes across the landing. The house is still and quiet, but there's just a glimmer of moonlight as she creeps down the stairs. The door to the drawing room creaks as it opens. Clara freezes, stands stock still, and listens. Not a sound. She breathes a sigh of relief, slips across the room to the toy cupboard, reaches up and gently lifts up the Nutcracker in his little bed. She pokes the fire and adds some coal, and it flares into life. She settles herself in her favourite comfortable chair, takes the Nutcracker in her arms and rocks him. Her eyes shut and she's drifting towards sleep when the grandfather clock begins to strike midnight. Clara's eyes fly open. She looks up at the clock. In the firelight, the carved owl above the clock face is coming alive. The face is familiar. It looks just like Godfather. Rising wings look like his arms inside his great old cloak. Clara jumps to her feet, alarmed and surprised. She hears the sound of scampering feet from the ceiling, down the walls. There's a skittering behind the skirting boards. It's coming from all sides. Clara stands transfixed. The noise is growing. It's in the room. There's a patter of tiny feet on the floorboards. Tiny shadowy shapes appear everywhere. On the floor, on the chairs, on the table. Clara shuts her eyes tightly and claps her hands over her eyes. The room grows quiet. Clara relaxes her hands, opens her eyes and peers round the room through her fingers. She is surrounded by shadowy shapes and tiny little pinpricks of light glint in the firelight. Eyes. It's hundreds of pairs of eyes, all looking at her. It's mice. Not one or two, but hundreds, thousands of them. Clara takes a deep breath. She imagines she is one of Fritz's soldiers on duty. She does not scream. She contains her fear, pursing her lips and frowning with determination. She's going to get help. But before she can move, there is a rumbling like an earthquake. The floor in front of her is trembling. The plaster cracks and crumbles, and the bricks disintegrate, and the king of mice bursts through the floor in front of her. He is the largest mouse she has ever seen. He has 7 heads. Each head is topped with a golden crown, with eyes that flash and mouths that screech. He is brandishing a terrifying sword. "I declare war," cries the Mouse King.